Hello everyone, it's Becky here and welcome back to my channel and welcome back to the new video. Today's video is going to be a little bit different because I decided to combine two different things, and that is to speak about Victorian literature for a while and then also do one of the tags I've been really wanting to do for quite a while. And the reason why I decided to do so is that I really wanted to participate in Victober this year because there are absolutely amazing prompts and there have been a whole list of the books I wanted to read, but as I mentioned previously a couple times, recently I've been really running out of the time when it comes to doing some other activities other than my job, so unfortunately I did not have time to participate as much as I wanted. And then there is this tag which is called Nostalgia tag, which also is kind of combined with the history obviously, and I realized when I was reading those prompts that there are some books I would like to mention which are sort of belonging into Victorian literature as well. So that's the reason why I decided to do this sort of video, and without the further ado I'm just gonna start, and I really hope that you will enjoy it, and yeah, let's begin. Right, so the smallest possible participation in Victober you see this year, it will be done by me, because so far I've been reading only two books, and those are these two lovely beautiful books. And I will start with this one, which is called How to be Victorian by Ruth Goodman. This is a book which I first seen on the channel Inking Your Thinking, and I highly recommend to go and check this channel out because Aniki is doing absolutely lovely short videos, so definitely go and check her out if you haven't yet. And this is the book which is written by Ruth Goodman, as I mentioned, and she is a historian who also worked with BBC on so many different TV shows such as Victorian Farm or Victorian Pharmacy, or even Edwardian Edwardian Farm, yes. And she really knows her business because she was also working with the National Museum, and she's really expert when it comes to Victorian era and Victorian period of living. And in this book you have very lovely written the life of ordinary people and how they used to live from the moment they woke up and they got dressed and they wanted to get some food, so everything about food and clothes and fabrics they used to use for the clothing, and also different remedies they used to do and how they spend their free time. And it's just so interesting. And there are also quite a lot of pictures in the middle, but I need to be very careful when showing you. Hopefully you can see it, but the way how I was reading this book is like this, literally, because I'm so afraid to break the spine. I mean, normally I don't mind that much. Obviously I'm trying to be careful when working or reading a book, but this one is just so pretty, and I love the cover, and I really do not want to break the spine or have the line here, so it's been really fun to read this book because I'm really careful when reading it. So anyway, if you do like Victorian era, Victorian literature, or even movies and books, definitely recommend you to check this book out, because although I'm still at the very beginning, although it's already a half of a month gone, I just started with this, but I do enjoy it, and it's a thicker book, but some people could say that because it's not fiction, it took them quite a longer time to read it because it's full of facts, but those facts are very interesting. So yeah, go and pick this up, because for me this is like overread or like overview of the whole Victorian world, and therefore also perfect for Victober because I'm not reading that much of the literature as I wanted. So yeah, this one is number one on my list, and I highly recommend you to check it out. And the second book I will mention is this one, and I just realized that I forgot to take the main cover with this, but never mind, I showed it on my Instagram previously. And this is a book called Professor by Charlotte Bronte, which is the first book she's written, but it was published after her death by her husband. And I've been having this book on my shelf for ages. I already mentioned it in one of my previous videos when I spoke about Bronte sisters in general, and I will link that video to the description down below if you would like to see it. But this is a very interesting book because it's written from the main point of view, and our main character here is called William, and after the death of his parents he was raising up by his relatives, but they were not very nice to him, so at certain age he decided to detach from themselves he decided to detach from them and started his own journey and own life, and his steps took him to Brussels when he started his new job as a professor. And there obviously he meets new people and has new experiences, and so far I'm in the middle of the book approximately, and I do enjoy it a lot, but it's the case of I don't know if it ever happened to you, but you know when you read the book and suddenly you realize that what the character feels or some descriptions which are in the books or situations are sort of mirroring your own life in that moment, because that's what happened to me with this book. I did not have much of an expectations when I started to read this, but then I realized that when reading some parts I was thinking myself, okay, this is how I feel right now. So very interesting. I know that not many people read this book. When I asked on my Instagram, 90% of people said that they did not read the book. So let me know if it's something you would like to read, or if you already read it, please let me know and tell me how you liked it, because so far I do enjoyed it. And yeah, so these are the only 2 books I've been reading so far for this Victober, but I'm really hoping to get to some more books, because I really wanted to read, for example, Picture of Dorian Gray or Woman in White, but just did not have time, although the prompts are absolutely amazing. So but I mean, there's never late to read Victorian literature. It does not have to be only in Victober, so definitely I want to read them at some point, hopefully before the end of this year. Right, and now I would like to speak about the nostalgia tag, which I mentioned at the beginning, because as I mentioned a couple times before, I've been tagged to so many tags and I really like to do them, but I've just been running out of the time, which is something I'm really tired of saying, but unfortunately it's true. So anyway, I'm just gonna start, and this tag was originally created by Noah at Everyone Who Reads It Must Converse, and I was very kindly tagged by Mark from Book Time with Elvis. And I'm just gonna start with the prompts. So the first one says, the oldest book from your life that you still own. Right, so here I brought those books, and the one would be called Babička, which is called Grandmother in English, and I mentioned this book once before as well, but it's absolutely stunning book, and it has wonderful illustrations, and I want to show you some of them. For example, this, but also some more illustrations like this. I really do love illustration which looks like they were done with the ink. It's really beautiful, and it has the typical smell which I like so much with the books, and this one is from 1927, so really a treasure. And then I have one more, the tiny one, this one, and I completely forgot what's the name of the book, but you know, the one, a small one in the churches where you have all the psalms written. So this belonged to my grandmother, and it's from 1940s, but you know, falling apart, but I still treasure it very much. And then I have one more book, but it's not technically mine. We have it here in our library, but I just really wanted to show you because it's absolutely stunning. And to be honest, I don't know what year it was published because I could not find it there, but I definitely bet that it belongs to Victorian era already. And there are basically 2 parts of this book, and I will show you very carefully at least the opening page, because it's really stunning. Look at this. And it's done like this with the illustrations like this in the whole book, and I will show you in a while, but I just did not want to damage the book in any way. But basically you have all sorts of, for example, recipes, how you can treat yourself at home when you are ill, like 200 years ago, how you could do it, different herbs, but there is also the whole anatomy of human body, different parts, and it also focuses on different systems in your body. So for example, digesting system and heart system and blood, and you have absolutely stunning illustrations there. So I don't know what year this was published, but I would say it belongs to Victorian era as well. Okay, the second prompt says, first loved library book. I don't remember actually, because as a child I did not read very much, so I prefer to watch movies and I did not go to library that often. A book given to you, okay, so many books which were given to me and I treasure them very much. For example, as I mentioned once before, Jane Eyre, which is also a Victorian literature book and written by Charlotte Bronte, and this is the book which belonged originally to my grandmother, and she gave it to me, and I really loved that book because for most of my life I felt like Jane is the character most close to my heart, and we are very similar in many ways, so I really do love that book. But then I also, for example, have the Three Musketeers book, which was gifted to me by my dad, and I really love that book as well. It also has similar illustration like in Babička, like sort of with ink, and I love it. And then I have the whole collection of, well, not whole collection yet, but I have several books from Daphne du Maurier from one collection which was given to me by a special person as well, and I really cherish this sort of books. Right, a book recommended to you. So many, and especially since I joined BookTube, there have been so many lovely books recommended to me, and I actually do plan to do a video about the books which were recommended to me from booktubers directly, but I just need to read them first. But I really do want to make a video like that. But so many books. Okay, a buddy read. In terms of BookTube, I never done this before, so if there is anyone who would like to try a buddy read something, who would like to try a buddy read with me, I would really love to, but please bear in mind that I'm a slow reader, but I would love to try. But also in general, I don't think I ever read a book with anyone, like in normal life. Yeah, I don't think so, but I would love to try. Right, books introduced to you in school. Okay, I must say that that's probably the time when I read the most of Slovak literature, which is a shame because we have some amazing authors, but the truth is that I'm not reading that much of Slovak literature as I would like to, so if anyone there has a recommendation from Slovak book, please let me know, I would love to. But I would say that from those times I really do love Margita Figuli Tri gaštanové kone, which is a book written about the life of ordinary people in the village in the past, same like Babička for example, but it also has some elements of fairy tale, and there is lovely love story, so really beautiful book. Genre fiction that inspires nostalgia. Twilight. Twilight, because I read this when I was very young. Literary work that inspires nostalgia. Okay, I'm a very nostalgic person, and here I would say Harry Potter books, although I never read them, but I have very lovely memory of this book, because when I was young, as I just mentioned, I did not read that many books, but my father, he was a devoted reader and he always wanted me and my sister to read more, but we never wanted. And I remember once we were in this shopping center and they were selling the new edition of Harry Potter, and I was begging my father to get me the first book, and obviously he knew that I'm not going to read it, but because he was so happy that I finally shown interest in the books, he got it for me. And after that we had very lovely conversation when I asked him, you know, as a little child about unicorns and whether they used to live, and he just out of nowhere made this, I don't know if he made this up, but just different sort of stories about unicorns, and we were there in the middle of the shopping center and just having this discussion as a father-daughter time. It was very lovely, and no, I did not read the book at the end until this day, but I still have the book, and whenever I look at it I always remember this particular moment, so very lovely. Okay, the spiritual text that inspires nostalgia. Actually a Bible. I mean, I mentioned a couple times before, maybe here, I don't remember, but I used to do summer camps for children which were done with Scripture Junior organization in Slovakia, and those are Christian camps, and during that time obviously we would read a lot of Bible during our meetings, blah blah blah, but it was very lovely, and I spent over 7 years with this camp, so that would be the one. Okay, tag some readers, which is the prompt number 10. Oh, okay, I'm not quite sure who done this because I know it's been going on for quite a while, but I decided to tag some new people which I met just very recently, literally a few days ago, so hello. But I would love to tag Brandon's Bookshelf, Art at Bookshelf's Odyssey, Cozy Reading with Quaker Cats, and Berna's Bookies Adventures, and all these channels will be linked to the description down below. And if you haven't done this tag, lovely people, please go and do so. I would love to see your answers, and if you did it, well then never mind. Okay, and some extra questions added by Summer. So, was there a book band to you growing up? No, only films. When was the first time or first book that you could feel was written by someone from a different country than your own? Okay, for me this is not a big deal at all, because since I am from a small country, most of the, for example, even movies which I would be watching, like 99% of movies which I was watching as a child were dubbed or translated to Slovak or Czechish, because I used to grow up watching movies like 50-50 Slovak or Czech. So and that was same with the books. Actually, I always read translated books, so it was not like a discovery point for me, or like breaking point when I would realize, okay, this is a different book or from different author or from different country, because I used to read all sorts of books, but they were most of the time always translated. Yes. Okay, and the last one, do you have an upcoming read that inspires nostalgia? Not really, but I'm hoping that if I will be able to tackle Victorian literature, it will bring some nostalgia, because I do love the historical fiction and historical books. Right, so those are all the tags, and I think that with this I will slowly wrap up. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you read any of these 2 books which I just mentioned for Victober, or how is your Victober going, because I would love to know what is the most anticipated book you either already read or you're still about to read. And if you would also like to do nostalgia tag but you haven't been tagged, please consider yourself tagged as well. So that's me. I will slowly wrap up. Thank you very much, and I hopefully see you soon with another video. Take care. Bye!